Hello friends, this is Astrologer Mohnish and thank you for watching my videos on Vedic Astrology. In this video, I will be talking about the upcoming lunar eclipse, which is happening on 20th of October 2023. This lunar eclipse has more significance because it's happening right after solar eclipse. We had solar eclipse on 14th of October and within one fortnight, we are getting a lunar eclipse as well. So what will it impact? What events it will trigger, how it will impact you. I will speak and tell my predictions from the mundane astrology perspective. How will it impact Israel, Palestine, Iran, United States, India, and also the stock markets. Especially if you are an investor in stock market, you should know what is about to come in next 2 to 4 weeks time. So lunar eclipse, they usually start giving their results 3 days before the eclipse happens or 4 days before the eclipse happens, especially when the lunar eclipse is happening right after the solar eclipse. And you will see most of the events which I will going to talk about in my predictions, they are already taking shape. Some things of that vibrations, we can feel it, that it's already happening. But the major results will come within the 2 to 4 weeks after this eclipse. Lunar eclipse gives its results instantly within 2 to 4 weeks time, and sometimes even sooner. And solar eclipse gives its results within 3 to 6 months period. So what is about to happen? Let's talk about that. Again, I will put chapters below my video so that if you want to just come to my conclusion, my predictions, you can skip the entire technical part and come straight to that. But if you are learning astrology or you want to know how astrology works, how I create the hypothesis, you can watch the entire video. Again, my dear friends, I'm an astrology guru. I teach astrology around the world. I have students every part of this world. I do predictive astrology. I do Nadi astrology. I do mundane astrology. In case you want to learn that professionally, you can join my courses, email me, and I'll be willing to help you. Otherwise, my free videos on YouTube can also get you started, at least get you out of your natural abilities of reading chart to a professional ability of reading chart to some extent. So watch that video or the playlist, how to read your chart as a pro. And for this video, since we're talking about the lunar eclipse, I'm just going to highlight the chart of lunar eclipse. You see, this is the chart of lunar eclipse. I've taken Washington as a city. You can take any city. And 20th October 2023, the lunar eclipse will start at 2 p.m. Washington time. Now, the major thing to notice is this eclipse is happening in the sign of Aries and in the nakshatra of Ashwini. Without nakshatra, you cannot predict anything in Vedic astrology. So Aries is a sign where the eclipse is happening. For any human being, if your Rashi means the moon sign, is Aries, you will be impacted with this eclipse. Or even if your nakshatra is Ashwini, you're born under the nakshatra of Ashwini, that means moon is in the nakshatra of Ashwini, you will also have an impact of this lunar eclipse on your life. So watch out and be cautious. Again, moon sign is a Rashi, not the sun sign or ascendant sign. If you're born under the moon sign, the Rashi of Aries, this will have an impact on you. Now, Aries is where the eclipse is happening. You see Moon and Rahu together, which is causing the eclipse. We can see Jupiter is also in the same house. Uranus is also in the same house. They are conjunct with the eclipse. And Mars, Mercury, Sun and Ketu are aspecting it. Okay, and even there's an aspect of Saturn also landing in here, 1, 2, 3. So there are many planets who are actually making the combination and yoga on this eclipse. But I'll talk about some of the major aspects, how they will impact you. Okay, so going to my sheet, we'll go straight. Eclipse is happening in the sign of Aries, and Aries is a fire element which triggers war, military deployment, sensational public events, warlike situation, discontent and protest by masses, fire incidents, and even a possibility of death of a public figure or somebody known personality. So again, this is what will happen, and we can already see the waves and the vibrations happening in this world, warlike situation, because the sign is Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, which is a fiery sign. And that is what is about to come in next 3 to 4 weeks. It's also a fixed element, so that causes explosions, death, and a death of a prominent person. So again, you will see the situation what we see in Israel, the fight they have with Hamas, Iran joining it, and there's all of Middle East coming into the epicenter of this war, Lebanon joining it, Syria, Jordan. So you can understand this eclipse will make things worse in next coming 2 to 4 weeks time. Now for Israel especially, Aries is their 8th house. If you see the chart of Israel, I'm going to bring the Israel birth chart here. You see Aries falls in their 8th house, and 8th is house of devastation, destruction, and death. So again, people of Israel will go through a lot of challenges, problem, destruction, war, and we already see that these events are already taking place, and our lunar eclipse will add more power to those events. So there will be more problems and more challenges. For Palestine also, this is happening in their 8th house. So the birth chart of Palestine. If you have not watched my video about Palestine, I will put a link below this video in the description, so you can see the entire chart of Palestine birth chart, my analysis on it. Again, this is the 8th house where Aries is falling. So again, problem, devastation, challenges, exacerbation of this war-like events will happen after the lunar eclipse, which is another 2 to 4 weeks. They will see more and more firepower, war-like situation, devastation, and destruction happening. Now for United States, this is happening in the 5th house. So Aries for United States, if I go to the United States chart, the Aries comes into their 5th house. They have a Sagittarius Lagna as ascendant sign, and the 5th house of entertainment, adventure, amusement, that is the house which is getting afflicted by this lunar eclipse. And then what will happen is it will affect their stock market, because 5th is house of stock market also, some quick up and downs, speculation, and violent incidents related to the amusement and joy of people. Those places are under the threat. So be cautious. And as I'm making this video, I just heard in the news also that there is an incident which happened in the state of Maine. It was a bar or restaurant. I didn't follow the whole story, but I just heard it, that there is an incident. Some shooting took place in the state of Maine in some bar or restaurant where many people have been injured or died. So it will happen more. You can see that this event is already triggering before the lunar eclipse happened. In next 2 to 4 weeks, be very cautious. Do not go to the crowded places. Do not go to the places of amusement park, malls, cinema halls, or anywhere, bars, pubs, and restaurants. Be very vigilant, because these events will spark off more for United States basically, because Aries comes into their 5th house. For Iran, this is happening in their 11th house. So if I go and make the chart of Iran birth chart, again, there's a video on Iran also. You can watch that. I'll put a description below. So this Aries is in the 11th house. 11th house is house of friends and network and gains. So Iran will get more gains and more support from their alliance and from their friends or friendly countries. It is a good sign for them. But this sign is also being aspected by Mars. If you see their 11th house, is Iran's 11th house, it has a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth aspect of Mars landing in this house. So they will have more aggression in gathering support. So Iran will definitely show its aggression when it comes to its military deployment, or even going for a war, directly or indirectly. And they will also get a lot of support from their alliances. Now from India, this Aries is their 12th house. So if you see the chart of India, the Aries comes into the 12th house. And 12th is house of embarrassment and losses, and also the losses in the field of their foreign affairs and foreign policy. So it can trigger some loss of reputation for India. And we already heard a news that Qatar has given a death sentence to 7 Indian naval officers. It's an embarrassing situation for India. And see, again, 3 days before the lunar eclipse happened, the events are already taking place. And this is the power of Jyotish, power of astrology, that you can literally connect the dots why this is happening. But don't think that I'm giving you the predictions based on what is happening or what has happened. I'm giving you the predictions what is about to happen in next 20 to 30 days, 2 to 4 weeks of time. So we are talking about present and talking about the future also. Now, another thing to notice is Uranus sits within the same house of eclipse, as I showed you in the beginning, the chart of eclipse. So a lot of civil unrest, protest, strikes, revolts, political unrest, and fluctuations in the stock market will be seen globally. Especially where the epicenter of this eclipse is falling, those countries will see more political unrest, challenges, strikes, revolts, revolutions. Uranus is a planet of bringing the rebellious outlook, revolutions. And when it sits in the same house where the eclipse is forming, it will cause more challenges, more strikes, more public opinion falling against their government, or more challenging time for the civic body, for the government to communicate with their masses, with the people. Now, Mercury is also aspecting the eclipse, as I showed you in the chart before. If I go back to the chart of eclipse, you can see that Mercury is also aspecting, Mars is also aspecting, Saturn is also aspecting. So there are so many challenges happening here within the eclipse. So with Mercury aspecting it, there will be a lot of propaganda and informational warfare. So it actually, Mercury rules your communication, your power to communicate, and the power to conduct your news channels or publications, or how you communicate, how you set the narrative and the tones. And these are being set by the ruling government. So you will see there's a lot of challenges and problem coming to the media houses also, where there will be a lot of informational warfare, propaganda, and false news, or trying to build a narrative which may not be utterly true. So this will happen because Mercury is aspecting the eclipse. So it's not a good time for the ruling parties of any country where they are setting up the narrative and asking their media house to keep that narrative on. And again, we can see during the war times, a lot of propaganda warfare, informational warfare, and misuse of media happens. So this is again challenging next 3 to 4 weeks. Mars aspect again causing, putting oil into the fire by causing more warlike situation, fire and accident. So you will see globally, or the war hit regions will have more devastation, more firepower, more violence, more accidents, more challenges. So this is entire predictions for the next 3 to 4 weeks, or the entire moon cycle. So moon cycle is 28 days. So anything can happen of all these sorts in next 28 days from the mundane astrology perspective. You can go through it one by one. I'm showing you, I'm not hiding anything. And you can see these events will take place. This is the power of Jyotish. This is the power of astrology. So looking at from the stock market perspective, what is about to happen, this is the entire prediction on the stock market. The sign is Aries, where the eclipse is happening. So Aries is ruled by Mars, which is a fiery element. Aries itself is a fiery sign. So abrupt movement in the markets will happen. There will be a lot of higher than usual activity, means the volume in the stock market. It can cause inflation and the rise in taxes also, because of the Aries sign, which is a fiery sign. So you will see a lot of abrupt movement, because Aries is also a fixed sign, which shows that abrupt movement in the market. The greed and the fear prevails. So a lot of people buying and selling, do not know which direction they should go into. So higher than usual volume in the trading activity is seen after the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, which is happening in the sign of Aries. Now the day of week is Saturday, when the eclipse is forming, especially in the United States. So Saturday is ruled by Saturn, and we already know that Saturn is aspecting this eclipse also. So rise in the prices of petrochemicals, fuels, lubricants, anything which is black in color, iron and steel, oil seeds, groundnuts, mustard oil, the scarcity of these commodities will happen, because Saturn will reduce the supplies and the demand will go high. So embrace that these commodities price will go higher. And Saturn is forming the aspect also in this eclipse. So it is playing very, very strong point in increasing the prices of petrochemicals, lubricants, and anything which is ruled by Saturn, which is black in color, iron and steel, or black lanterns also. It is happening in the month of Kartika, which is a lunar month, Vedic lunar month, Hindu astrology month. And Kartika also shows that a lot of bearish trends will be seen in the edible oils and the food grains. So this is what the mundane astrology predicts. When the eclipse happens in a certain Vedic months, what could be the repercussions and what could be the results out of this. So fluctuating and bearish, normally bearish towards edible oils and the food grains. Now, one more thing which is happening now is that the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, they just happen together in the 14th day or within a fortnight. So what will happen is rise in the prices of silver will happen after the solar eclipse till the first or 2 weeks of lunar eclipse, and then it will steadily fall down. So you will see that silver prices are already up. If you just check the prices of commodities or the silver futures, it started rising up after the solar eclipse. It is going up. Lunar eclipse will make it more up, and then the profit booking will happen and the prices will go to the normal level. So this is the time when most of the traders, they make money by profit booking. So if you have put money in the commodities, silver futures, after the lunar eclipse, maybe after a week or two, just sell them off, make your profit, and then buy it in the next dip. Because after 2 or 3 weeks of solar eclipse, or maybe 2 weeks, it will come to the normal level, but now they are rising. Mercury aspects the eclipse, as we talked in the previous section also. Fluctuation in the prices of edible oils and honey will be there. These are the commodities ruled by Mercury. And again, Mars is aspecting, fiery sign. It brings a lot of higher than the normal volume in the trading activities. So you will see next 3 to 4 weeks, the trading activities are very high. Buying and selling is happening randomly, abruptly. Sharp highs and sharp lows will happen. So be aware of these changings coming after the lunar eclipse. Nakshatra is Ashwini. So bullish and fluctuating trends happen in the edible oils. Now for edible oils, we say that it will be bearish here, Vedic month. But the nakshatra says it will be bullish. So stand it with the bullish only, because nakshatra will win when it comes to the final prediction. Month is saying bearish, fluctuating. Nakshatra is saying bullish. So I will go with the nakshatra, that ultimately after the fluctuating trends, the edible oils and of course grains, the prices will go up. So this is how you predict the mundane astrology events. I have covered both the events based for the countries and for the people, and the events which are mostly focused at the stock market. This is the power of Jyotish. This is the power of Vedic astrology. So again, I'm not showing or sharing what is happened, what is happening. We know what is happening. Everybody knows it. But what is about to come is also being predicted here. This is the power of Jyotish. Again, if you want to learn astrology, if you really want to learn one science in your life to awaken your spiritual consciousness, this is only Jyotish. This is only Vedic astrology. It is a divine science. Again, I'm the teacher of Vedic astrology. I have students around the world. And if you want to learn this science, feel free to contact me. And I shall see you in my next video very soon. Stay happy, stay blessed. Next video, I'll be talking about one more major event which is happening. That Rahu is changing its nakshatra. It's moving to the Revati nakshatra, which is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury rules information technology, the data, cybersecurity, and the information warfare. So how Rahu will impact this cyber crime, cyber hacking, data hacking, or cybersecurity related issues, I will be talking about that. So until then, please stay safe, stay happy, and thanks for watching my videos on Vedic astrology, and thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer those. Thank you very much, and I shall see you in my next video very soon.